On World News Tonight this Wednesday, the killings in Arkansas. One of the children was trained in target shooting. If he and his cousin are found guilty, how will they be punished? And who shares responsibility? We'll take a closer look. President Clinton says the world did not do enough to prevent the genocide in Rwanda. And nuclear weapons on the nation's highways. They may have to be moved around, but how secure are they? An ABC News investigation.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Reporting tonight from Washington.
Good evening. It's been another very painful day in Jonesboro, Arkansas. So many people struggling to understand the outrageous killing of the children by the children. 5 people died, as you know, 4 children and 1 teacher who was trying to protect a child. 6 people are still in the hospital, one of them in critical condition. The killings are the subject of anguish and consternation all over the nation. Our first report tonight is from Dean Reynolds, who's in Arkansas.
The youngest murder suspects in town were behind bars today and still silent about the shooting. 13-year-old Mitchell Johnson and 11-year-old Andrew Golden were named in the local newspaper this morning as the 2 snipers in camouflage who were arrested after the carnage at the West Side Middle School. While parents and police groped for answers, a dark portrait of the suspects was emerging. Golden's grandfather told Primetime Live today that the boys stole the murder weapons from his private collection. They were desperate to get them, he said.
It got 3 rifles and ammunition for those rifles and 4 pistols.
Several schoolmates recalled the boys, who were cousins, as gun-loving troublemakers who often made violent threats, as late as Monday night predicting something big was going to happen.
They said they were going to kill people.
Andrew Golden had been trained in target shooting and went hunting with his father. Mitchell Johnson apparently knew weapons, too. He reportedly pulled a knife on a classmate Monday and spoke often of getting back at girls who treated him badly.
The boy who supposedly, I guess, planned it all had said that nobody's going to break up with me, and he said the only reason why he's doing this is because these girls had broken up with him and he's going to kill them.
Yet officials at their school said today the kids had clean records as far as they knew.
If any threats had been brought to my attention, it would have been dealt with appropriately.
And though they now face 5 murder counts, they are unlikely to spend many years in jails because they're so young.
We feel under the juvenile code that the maximum time they could be detained would be up until their 18th birthday.
The 2 suspects face a hearing in juvenile court on April 29th, and prosecutors now say they're studying ways legally that might extend their punishment, including the possibility of charging one of the suspects with federal firearms offenses. Peter?
Thanks very much, Dean Reynolds in Arkansas today. We'll get back to this issue of how to punish children a little later in the broadcast. But people's opinions about punishment are invariably influenced by the brutality of the crime. And as ABC's Aaron Hayes reminds us tonight, this was a terrible crime.
It had begun as usual, inside, the children studying, 5th period, and then the fire alarm rang out.
We went out the building just like we're supposed to, and almost all the kids had gotten out.
Walked quietly along the sidewalk here as they are supposed to do, came around the corner, and life changed for everyone. The shots came from a field very close.
It was just all around, kids falling in front and behind me.
I got hit in the arm, so I was on the ground, and then we started running to the front of the building.
12-year-old Emma Pittman was in the line of fire, and her teacher, Shannon Wright, pushed her to safety. The bullet struck Mrs. Wright, and it killed her.
She saved my life. She just shoved me out of the way and she took the hit.
Michael Barnes saw his friend hit, crawled to safety in the cafeteria, and began praying, he says, for his life.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
Frightened parents ran to the school, clutched their children. 4 little ones, girls age 11 and 12, were killed. Natalie Brooks and Paige Herring, Stephanie Johnson and Brittany Varner. Parents today brought children to the school for counseling, and police accompanied them, shielding them. because so many don't want to talk to reporters right now. Can't. Those that do are clearly still struggling.
I feel guilty. I still have my baby.
Struggling to come to grips with an act that makes sense to no one. Erin Hayes, ABC News, Jonesboro, Arkansas.
It would be difficult to ignore the fact that the last 3 violent events of this magnitude took place in the South. It would also be wrong to suggest that somehow being Southern contributes to this. We know children learn about violence in a variety of ways, in their homes and on television, as well as in their communities. But our correspondent in the South, Rebecca Chase, does make the point tonight that guns are a familiar part of Southern culture.
Jonesboro, Arkansas, West Paducah, Kentucky, Pearl, Mississippi, all cases of kids killing kids with guns, all in the South, all in states with fewer gun control laws. In Arkansas, a child of any age can have a rifle or shotgun. While easy accessibility is a nationwide problem, in the South there are simply more guns available. According to the Encyclopedia of Southern Culture, Southerners own more guns proportionately than any other region. Nearly 75% of residents in some southern states own guns, compared to 65% in the West and 23% in New England.
Well, the South is the most conservative region in the country, and part of that conservatism is reflected in a gun culture.
From the Civil War to its abundance of military installations today, the South has long honored the soldier. The right to bear arms is taken seriously here. Gun shows are major spectacles, and hunting is a rite of passage.
I started taking my boys with me when they were 4 years old.
Jay Wallace sells guns at his sporting goods store in Marietta, Georgia, and hunts regularly with his 3 sons. He says it is a lesson in responsibility and just plain fun.
Good, clean fun, absolutely. If we would take them away from the Nintendo a little bit more and put them in the woods, there's a lot to learn there.
Lessons learned in most cases. Rebecca Chase, ABC News, Marietta, Georgia.
In just a moment, is anyone else responsible for the killings in Arkansas? Could anything have been done to prevent it? We'll take a closer look.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Merrill Lynch.
I admit it, I don't like to take risks. That's why a Merrill Lynch Protected Growth investment is right for my IRA. In effect, I'm investing in the stock market, but I get the earning potential of a rising market without risking all my principal, even if stocks decline dramatically. My Merrill Lynch financial consultant recommended Protected Growth for my retirement because he knows I like to play it safe. With my money, that is.
Hey, San Francisco, show us your feet.
I have corns. They hurt.
Will you show me your corn?
No! Don't be shy.
This'll help. Dr. Scholl's Cushland Gel Corn Remover. Nothing relieves pain faster or removes corns quicker.
Feels great.
I feel no pain at all.
Going dancing in these shoes.
You think you can maybe do a pirouette for me?
Life's an adventure because you're over 50 and still exploring. So take the Centrum made just for you, Centrum Silver, with age-essential nutrients specially adjusted to keep pace with your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver, it's a great time to be silver.
As we said at the beginning of the broadcast, so many people in Arkansas and elsewhere are trying to make sense of this violence by children, so we're going to take a closer look. It is hard to find lessons in this specific incident because we don't know enough of the background yet. But as with other cases, it is obvious that children are products of their environment. So who else bears some responsibility here, and who can do something about this? Perhaps schools can, but they are already burdened. Here's ABC's Michelle Norris.
Across America, schools are struggling to keep students safe, using everything from metal detectors to police sweeps for truants. But it's clearly not enough.
We need to step back and take a fresh look at what we're doing in terms of preventing school violence.
That means spotting kids who need attention and helping them work through frustration and anger.
No matter what the children come with, they are ours, and they belong to us, and it is our responsibility to deal with the problems that they might have.
But finding a helpful adult who can provide that kind of attention is becoming increasingly difficult. Because of budget cuts, the typical high school has one adult counselor for every 300 students, and it's one for every 800 in elementary and middle schools. Too big a load for counselors to connect with students.
There are a lot of them that fall through the cracks. The most common refrain was, I couldn't see the counselor, he or she was too busy.
We have to make a decision if we're either going to fight.
Several schools are experimenting with other ways to guard against problems before they get out of hand. Character education and peer mediation, where students learn how to counsel each other. And educators say schools must do a better job of paying attention to early warning signs. But in Jonesboro, they apparently missed those signs, whatever they were. And the price was very high. Michelle Norris, ABC News, Washington.
The National Center for Health Statistics pointed out today that on average in the United States, 14 people aged 19 and under, 14 aged 19 and under died from gunshot wounds every day in 1997. Every day. Whatever the reasons for this, and they are many, it isn't simple, there is a gathering movement to hold parents more responsible publicly for the sins of their children. Here's ABC's Tom Foreman.
Over the past decade, 17 states have passed laws making parents responsible for the crimes of their children. Some can put parents into jail, some can force them to pay restitution to victims. All have widespread support in law enforcement circles.
Parents need to know what their kids are up to. They need to know the punishment that their kids face. And they are a part of the problem, so they ought to be part of taking responsibility.
You guys working here? Under Colorado law, parents of delinquent children must show up in court, must meet with juvenile officers. Some parents clearly do not like it.
Especially when you're trying to work hard and stuff out there and provide for the rest of the kids and stuff, and one is acting up.
Others argue that too many states are putting pressure on parents while not doing enough to address societal influences on children. Poverty, television, gangs, drugs.
When you come right down to an individual case, it's difficult, for example, to prove that a parent's failure to supervise a child directly contributed to this child's violent behavior.
Juvenile violence is so complex, it is impossible to prove whether these laws work. But for now, many states are saying when kids go wrong, parents must pay. Tom Foreman, ABC News, Denver.
And as people in Jonesboro, indeed all of us, contemplate the latest murders, the country is also trying to figure out how such children should be punished. Across the country, more and more violent youngsters are being treated as adult criminals. In the last decade, the rate at which violent young offenders have ended up in the criminal justice system as opposed to the juvenile justice system has gone up by 70%.
Many jurisdictions either lowered the age at which they allowed juveniles to be treated as adults or instituted statutes that would allow juveniles to be treated as adults.
In Indiana, South Dakota, and Vermont, children as young as 10 may be treated as adults. In 17 states, including Arkansas, offenders under the age of 14 stay in the juvenile justice system. We talked to Arkansas's Attorney General. So you presume in Arkansas that the child is rehabilitatable, correct?
That is correct. That's correct.
And have you an active program to rehabilitate young criminals?
Right. The Division of Youth Services has in place a number of programs designed to rehabilitate our young people. Sometimes it's effective and sometimes not.
Across the country, many prosecutors are pressing for violent children to be more regularly punished as adults. It may not solve the problem, but at the moment it appears to suit the country's mood. When we come back, the other news, President Clinton in Rwanda today. He says the world should have done more to stop the genocide.
The U.S. Postal Service, with new automated systems from Lockheed Martin, is speeding the delivery of billions of pieces of mail and the occasional birthday present from Uncle Will. Interestingly, Lockheed Martin is also building America's next generation of fighter planes, which means we not only help deliver the present, but the future.
Brooks Brothers Eyewear by Luxottica. What do you want people to see?
I want you to see wisdom. You're a lucky man.
I want you to see that tradition doesn't have to be traditional.
Let them see you in Brooks Brothers Eyewear by Luxottica.
Men, is gray hair sneaking up on you, right under your nose?
It is sneaking up on me.
Here, too.
You need Just for Men gel. Brush in, and in 5 minutes, rinse.
It's the sure thing for a natural look.
Just for Men gel.
Remember when you wouldn't dare do this?
Take off my shoes? I've changed.
Nail fungus can appear as thick, brittle yellow nails.
Jansen helped me find an answer.
Oh, you called 1-800-NAILS-90. Looks like everyone's following your lead.
Yeah, my doctor said Jansen can be an answer for your nail fungus.
No more nail fungus.
Good move, huh?
That's the right step.
If you think you have nail fungus, call Jansen at 1-800-NAILS-90.
Things in life can change like that. All that work, and it's gone. But Farmers Insurance can help you get things back to the way they once were. That's why everything we do, from the way policies are written to the way claims are handled, revolves around getting you back to that point. Isn't that what insurance is supposed to do? Hey, wires can short out. Toasters can catch fire. These things happen. But with Farmers, we can at least help get you back where you belong.
President Clinton has arrived in South Africa. He's had a busy day. In Uganda, he and 7 African leaders signed a declaration supporting human rights and promising to work for an end to violence, especially to genocide. In other words, no more Rwandas. Mr. Clinton was in Rwanda this morning, and ABC's Sam Donaldson is with him.
It looked like just another arrival ceremony for President Clinton's African journey. But this was not just another African country. Mr. Clinton had come to Rwanda, scene of a terrible Holocaust that began in 1994 when militias of the then existing government began a murderous assault on an ethnic minority and its moderate allies. No one knows how many people died in this conflict. The working number is somewhere around 700,000 to 800,000. But what is known is that while the killing was going on, most nations, including the United States, did very little to try to stop it. In an extraordinary admission, that is exactly what Mr. Clinton acknowledged today at Kigali's airport.
We did not act quickly enough after the killing began. But all over the world, there were people like me sitting in offices day after day after day who did not fully appreciate the depth and the speed with which you were being engulfed by this unimaginable terror.
While the president met privately with survivors, workers arranged a memorial nearby, which he did not see, containing terrible artifacts of the genocide.
Killers armed mostly with machetes and clubs, the old and the sick, women and children alike, they were killed. Never again must we be shy in the face of the evidence.
But the evidence continues to pile up. Monday, in this village northwest of Kigali, 40 people were massacred, and more were killed elsewhere last night. For one survivor who had told her story,
one would wonder what kind of reconciliation they are looking for if people are still being killed.
After less than 3 hours on the ground, Mr. Clinton returned to Uganda for a conference with regional leaders, telling them, we must all do better. Sam Donaldson, ABC News, with the president in Uganda.
Several other pieces of news today. There is some new evidence today that the so-called AIDS cocktail, a combination of drugs to treat people with AIDS, is making a very significant difference. A study to be published in the New England Journal of Medicine finds that the death rate from AIDS and the rate of infection from diseases related to AIDS dropped more than 70% because of that drug cocktail. One interesting economic item today, the very low mortgage rates last month served to push up the sales of existing homes by 8.7%. That is nearly 5 million resales in a month. And from overseas, a news item to gladden the heart of every underdog, Volkswagen is trying to buy Rolls-Royce. Now, Rolls-Royce is owned by an English company, Vickers, which makes weapons as well, and so a group of Englishmen is trying to keep Rolls-Royce out of German hands. As a news story, it has potential. In just a moment, that truck on the highway carrying nuclear weapons. An ABC News investigation.
Once, in parts of this country, the problem wasn't getting good health care, but getting any at all. Fortunately, the doctors of the American Medical Women's Association have always gone the extra mile for people's health. Now, out of concern for yours, they've granted their acceptance to supplements. These from Nature Made. Nature Made is proud to bring you the first supplements to earn the acceptance of the AMWA. Nature Made, trusted by the ones you trust.
My husband told me something terrific. You can strengthen your teeth.
With Mentadent you can. Fresh from the pump, Mentadent activates on contact to power fluoride to tooth enamel, penetrating to strengthen teeth. Mentadent, pump strength into your teeth every time you brush.
Has frequent heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Have you treated it but still suffer on 2 or more days a week? Do you keep getting heartburn even though you've changed your diet? Your heartburn may be due to a potentially serious condition called acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor if Prilosec is right for you. Just 1 Prilosec capsule daily can provide 24-hour acid control. Prilosec is not for everybody. Only your doctor can decide if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. To learn more, call this number, ask your doctor or pharmacist, or see our Life magazine ad. Want 24-hour acid control with just 1 daily capsule? Ask your doctor about Prilosec.
Well, I was in the neighborhood first, and Dave came up to see how I did get such a good lawn.
I went over and I peeked into his tool shed, and he was using Turf Builder.
Dave's secret is to follow whatever I do. Any spot you look is nice and green and thick.
With last year's drought, our lawn still came right back because we had good root structure.
I would never consider using anything other than Scott's.
I have the best lawn in the neighborhood.
I think Brad has some nice spots on his lawn, but I think overall I have a better lawn.
In other important news today, those nuclear weapons out there on the nation's highways. Yes, you heard it correctly. The end of the Cold War notwithstanding, there are still 12,000 nuclear weapons in this country. They're held in 14 states. And from time to time, for one reason or another, they are moved from place to place. It is how they are moved around which is in question tonight. An ABC News investigation reveals a serious question of security. Here's ABC's James Walker.
It's time to pull off the road for a lunch break. At first glance, there's nothing unusual about those 3 tractor trailers. But take a second look. That driver has a walkie-talkie, and he's armed. And 40 yards away, these 3 men are watching the trailers so intently, they do not see us videotaping them. All these men are special agents with the Department of Energy. Their top secret assignment, transport nuclear weapons around the country.
We are the line that keeps those catastrophic weapons out of the hands of madmen and crazy people.
But what would happen if some crazy people did attack one of the trucks? We asked a government security expert, what would be the odds of success?
At least 50-50.
50% of the time, terrorists would be successful and steal a nuclear weapon.
Yes.
And an ABC News investigation has discovered the odds of successfully protecting the nuclear weapons may be even worse. During training drills, even though the couriers know they will be attacked, the would-be terrorists defeat them and steal the cargo about 2/3 of the time. ABC News obtained this internal memo by a U.S. Army Special Forces unit that trained with the couriers in 1996. It concludes, because of bad management by the Department of Energy, the couriers did not have the right equipment and did not follow orders. Amazingly, the Energy Department's own Chief of Security noted, if a nuclear shipment is stolen, there is no plan on how to recapture it. And at this government parking lot in Tennessee, where the trucks are kept between assignments, we were told about another lapse in security. Except for this no trespassing sign on this 8-foot-high fence, sources tell us that at night there is no guard assigned full-time, there are no alarms, anyone could climb over this fence, get right up to these trucks, and plant a tracking device or even a bomb. Government officials claim the vehicles are inspected before they hit the road. Drivers say the search is not nearly thorough enough. Virtually every complaint about the courier program is met with the same answer.
We have logged about 91 million highway miles with this system with an excellent safety record.
Despite that record, many of the men who protect the bombs think the department is complacent.
Oklahoma City had never happened. The World Trade Center had never happened. A Tokyo subway had never happened, but it did.
There is, he says, a first time for everything. James Walker, ABC News, Albuquerque.
Just one other note. After we filmed a convoy earlier this month, the Department of Energy suspended about 50 employees on suspicion of a security breach. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm David Orrick, and this is the fabulous Windsor Court Hotel, one of the top 20 hotels in the world. They use my amazing 8-pound Orrick XL. And now you can use it too, risk-free, so you can take the Orrick Challenge. Vacuum your carpet with your present vacuum, then vacuum it again with my 8-pound Orrick XL. You'll be amazed at what my Orrick XL, even at 8 pounds, picked up. Call for your 15-day home trial. Pile lifting roller brushes whirl at an incredible 6,500 RPMs. Its hypoallergenic top-fill design maintains professional cleaning power all the time. Call, and I'll also send you my Orrick Compact Vacuum absolutely free. It's so powerful it'll even pick up a bowling ball. So take the Orrick Challenge. If I tried this with a lesser vacuum, I'd have to have my head examined. Call 1-800-454-4700. 1-800-454-4700.
When Olga Maslova wants to phone her husband, she gives new meaning to the words long-distance call. He works in a space station.
Before you call or you fax or you internet, you need this, and this.
It's a job for Siemens. We're experts in voice, data, video, all kinds of communications, anywhere on Earth. So why not above the Earth as well?
So for this, or this.
We are Siemens.
We can do that.
Sun is rising.
Sweet shine.
Looks like a great day.
It's a great day for the comfort and convenience of changing tint Transitions lenses. Indoors, they lighten. Outdoors, they darken. So lightweight plastic Transitions lenses are right in any light. Make the change to Transitions lenses and see for yourself.
It's a great day.
Transitions lenses, right in any light and right for you.
Tonight, a primetime network television exclusive, The Tragedy of Jonesboro Investigated. The grandfather of the 11-year-old accused shooter speaks. See revealing home movies. Go inside the story.
Primetime tonight.
And just before we leave, a brief review of what we do now know about the school shooting in Jonesboro, Arkansas. 5 people are dead. 6 of the wounded are still in the hospital. The 2 suspects, ages 11 and 13, had used weapons before. They're being arraigned there today. And one of them had been trained in target shooting. Later tonight, Primetime Live will have an interview with one of the boys' grandfathers who says his grandson stole the murder weapons from him. That is our report on World News Tonight. Later on Nightline, by the way, the maximum of maximum security prisons. I'm Peter Jennings. We hope you have a good evening and that you'll join us tomorrow. Good night.
Tomorrow, the deadly Arkansas ambush. A town tries desperately to understand the warnings, the grief, the investigation on World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.
Millions of viewers have made Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place the biggest